the 15th of August. Can you even believe it? It is halfway through August. I mean, really. Since it's afternoon, 31 days, it is definitely halfway through August. And I just think that is crazy town. Hello, Marva and Bonnie and Carol and Rocky and Robin and Colleen and Shirley and Linda. I appreciate you guys coming. If I've missed anybody, it's because you've scrolled up past where I can see. It is a beautiful day here. It is some god awful amount of temperature though, 90 degrees and 63% humidity, which I always think that's not very much, but it actually is plenty to make it be stultifyingly warm. So it is definitely summer in Georgia, August. So hopefully we'll get to September soon. And I think I saw a meme the other day on Facebook that says the burr months are coming. So very soon I'll be complaining about being too cold. So I cannot be pleased. It's true. All right, so I have a fun fold card for you today, and I saw it online, and I meant to go back and double check and find out the name of the person from whom I saw it, but I cannot. I didn't do that. So it will be on my blog tomorrow. But it's kind of a window Z fold. So it's a window Z fold. So that's what I'm calling it, a window Z fold. And I have used some new Splendid Autumn DSP, which is stunning. And I did use one stamp from Autumn Expressions, and you don't have to use it. I used it across the bottom here, but I just really liked how it added a little bit of foreground to that picture. So if you have the set, I would use it. If you don't, just use Autumn Leaves and make the rest of the card and let this DSP do all the work, okay? So Autumn Leaves is from the annual catalog. It's a die set. It's actually my friend Amy's $1 million set, and it remains awesome. So I have combined it and this little image right here and made this card. So let's go ahead and get started. Everything will be on my blog tomorrow, and you don't have to do anything. Hello, everybody. I appreciate stultifying. I know that's actually, I didn't even make that one up, but I knew it and I know what it means. And I know that if you walk outside, you will be in fact stultified. All right. So I've got a Moody Mauve card base, and it's regular 4 1/4 by 11 1/2. I've scored it at 5 1/2. And then I have a piece of the Splendid Autumn DSP that I have cut down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's going to be the card front. Now, normally I would use a mat here, but we're going to be doing some cutting of the matted panel, the whole thing, the cardstock, the card base, and this DSP. And if you had another piece, it just makes it even harder to cut through. So if you're head up about a mat and you just can't get past it, you can certainly try. I would mat on 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then adhere it all together and then do your die cutting. But I have not done that, and so it's just going to have to be the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and take some liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere this to this card front. Now I want glue on the edges of this, but I don't want glue in the center because we're going to want to be able to pull the DSP off of the cardstock when it gets done. And you'll see what I mean here in just a hot second. Okay? So you see how I stayed around the edges. Now that is not really outside the norm for me. I only tell you that because for some people they do like to use a lot of liquid glue in the center, and that'll just make your life harder. I'll tell you how to fix it because I screwed it up on my first one. But it's an easy fix if you do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this largest Stylish Shapes die. Y'all, if you don't have Stylish Shapes, just please get it. Please get it, okay? It's the best. It's my go-to. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go ahead. See, I talked about doing those stamps, and then I didn't do it. So let me fix that right quick. I'm just going to put a couple of pieces of sticky note here because I really do like it. And so I am going to do it. I'm going to put a couple of pieces of sticky note to protect my card base. And I'm going to get my Mossy Meadow. Yes, I agree, Faith. It has really some of the very best leaf images in it. Okay, so I've got Mossy Meadow, and I have the grass image from the Autumn Expressions set, which is the new one that is coming in the mini catalog. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp, this is the bottom, I'm going to stamp down near the bottom a couple of times. And again, I'm really only doing that to add a little bit of depth and a little foreground to this panel, okay? So if you don't have this set and you want to go ahead and make this card before they come out, it comes out in September, just make it without that. Oop, I kind of got made a mess there, but that's okay. I have my handy sand eraser, and I can probably make that go away. I can make it go away. Okay, so let me put this away, and let me get back to where I was before I realized I was making an error. So I'm going to take this largest stylish shaped circle, and I am going to die cut it right about there. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm just going to put this in just like this. I'm going to die cut the DSP and the cardstock all at once, right in the center. Hang tight. Be hanging on. Don't go away. Your program will return in just a minute. No, actually, now would be the time for me to give you a commercial about super beats or, you know, something like that. Now, you are going to want to go back and forth through your cutter a couple of 3 times because you are going through a double layer of goodness. And when you get done, what you're going to have is you're going to have 2 pieces, and they will come apart because you did not put adhesive on this center part of the DSP. So now that makes sense better, right? So hang on to this because you can actually use this on the inside, and I might do that this time. May change up my card just the tiniest bit. All right, so now we can go ahead and fold our card base. Hey, Danette. Hi, Polly. Thank you, Rosie. All right. Hey, Sherry. Okay. So now we're going to make the Z-fold portion of our program. And I have a 5 1/4 by 8 inch piece of basic white. And I'm going to use my trimmer to score along the long edge. I'm going to get rid of that little piece of cardstock right there. Score along the long edge at 4 inches. So I'm going to put the left side at 4 inches. Score. And then we'll put the right side at 6 inches. Or no, the left side at 6 inches. So we're scoring at 4 and 6. I made that into a big deal like it was a big deal. It's not. It's 4 and 6. Okay? Duh. Easy. There we go. And then this is going to be the inside of the card. So you just want to fold as it makes sense. So fold the 4 inch score as a valley, like so. And then the 6 inch score opposite that as a mountain. Okay. Now the problem with defining it like that is if you turn it this way, you've got, yeah, mountain. You know what I'm saying? Fold it like that. So it's a Z. Gotcha? Gotcha. Okay. Now, here's where we're gonna make our innards, all right, before we put it inside the card. Now you can see my sample card. I stamped everything and I did some embossing. That is with the very cool this die in Autumn Leaves, and that's all it does is it just pokes those little holes, makes little stitch holes in there, and I do like that. The other alternative that you have is to use the cutout piece and place that in the center and then put a sentiment on it. So I was thinking maybe for this one, I would try that and do the embossing. What, thank you. So I'm going to go off screen one more time. Sorry. And I'm going to emboss this little piece up in the top corner and again in the bottom corner. Okay, be right back. Again, don't be going away. Be sticking around. Be hanging on. All right. So I'm just going to place that in the top right corner of that back panel. Y'all, be telling me in the comments, do you want me to try to use the DSP for this one or do it the way I did the sample? You've got a minute while I am die cutting or die embossing or whatever it is that you think, however you want to call it. Should I do like the sample or should I use the DSP in the center there? Up to you. Up to you. Up to you. Up to you, up to you, up to you. All right. And one more little die cut. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, we're gonna, it looks like we have relatively unanimous agreement that we want to use the die cut. So let's try that. That did not do very well at all, did it? That, I let it get dirty. I let it get dirty. All right, now, did anybody see where I threw my eraser? Y'all, I am possibly the least organized demonstrator that you watch. I'm just saying, there it is. I see it, I see it. Don't worry, I see it. Let's see if that'll take that little bit of marking off so I don't have to stress over that, because I'm going to stress over that. I'm going to stress over that. Okay, that's good. That's pretty good there. Okay, so we're going to use the DSP. All right, that's cool. Well, I am, in that case, going to see if maybe one of these, let's see, we've got, I'm thankful. Let me see if I can put grateful for you on here, if that will fit. Oh, it's like it was meant to be. Meant to be, meant to be, meant to be. Okay. So I will grab me un block. Here we go. Boosh. And I think we'll do it in, let's see how Moody Mauve looks, since that's the color I'm using on the front. Although I really want to say it's going to be, well, that's okay. We'll try it. We're going to do it in Moody Mauve. If this doesn't work, then, well, I'll just go back to stage one. Okay. Oh, pretty. So pretty. And then we're going to adhere this with a little bit of liquid glue. Gold emboss it. I don't have all my embossing stuff out. All right, we're going to put this right in the center. Let me find where my center is. There we go. Like that. Okay, so now you have totally used every bit of that front panel, right? Which is awesome. Okay, now I added some DSP on this panel just because it was making me twitchy to have it so much white. There was just so much white, so much white. And I just can only take so much white, and there was so much white. Do you understand the difference? There was not so much white, there was so much white. Just too much white. Okay, so I just took a piece of the DSP in kind of Azure Afternoon, and I matted it on Moody Mauve, and then I'm going to put this on the front panel. Okay. Like so. There we go. Like that. Oops. Have to wipe that off. Got a little carried away with my glue. Don't get carried away with your glue like I did. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Say no to excess glue. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to take my liquid glue again, and I'm going to adhere this to the inside of the card base. Okay, right there like that. Just like that. Preferably without getting glue all over my fingers. Y'all, we went and got hay this morning. We got 6 bales, which ought to last us through, oh, next year's cutting, if not, well, definitely through next year's cutting. When you've only got one, it goes a little further. So, but that was good because those round bales are now $100 a piece. When we first started buying round bales here at the same hay man, he is the best haymaker ever. He never bales too wet. He never bales wrong. We have never once opened a bale that was bad. When you open a 700 or 800 pound round bale and it's got mold in it, which you cannot feed to horses, you've got a big old mess on your hands. So it's really critical that they bail correctly, and he always has. So we've been going to him forever, and he's simply the only place I'll go. But when we first started going to him, those bales, same size, were $40 a bale. Then they went to 60, then they went to 80, and now they're to 100. And he said they are this year. Have you seen all the things going around Facebook about the army worms? Apparently the army worms are a big deal, and he has had to do thousands of gallons of pesticide this year that he didn't plan on to combat the army worms. So that's really, whew, that's really amazing. So the online card class, I see a question there. The online card class, I have a link at the top of my blog page at Stamps-N-Lingers.com. It says Decorative Trees Online class sign up, Decorative Trees class sign up. And you can click there and get all the information, and there's a sign up sheet, and I would love to have you. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to make 4 cards and 2 tags, all for Christmas, with the Decorative Trees bundle, which is coming new in the new catalog, and we're also using the Take a Bow DSP. All right, so if you'll go to that link, you'll see what you get. You get a pack of paper, a pack of the gold embellishments, and a pack of red and white baker's twine with your class tuition. I think it's the baker's twine. Yeah, just a sec. Let me look. I have my list right here. I have my list. I have a list right here by me. Nope, that's not it. Take about DSP, decorative taste bundle, gold side. Okay. And well, it'll show you everything for sure right there. And you'll get those, and then you have the option to purchase some of the other things that you'll see used in our tags and cards. And I would love to see it. It's a great time. It's the twine. Thank you, Amy. I knew you knew what it was. Even Rosie. Everybody knew what it was except me. So you'll be glad to know I am, in fact, doing 2 of the cards and 1 of the tags. I'm pretty sure I'll know what I'm doing by then. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make our center here. And we're going to use that piece of Moody Mauve that we cut out. And it is going to be adhered to this panel right here. All right? And you can see when the card is closed, you can't see anything inside. And then when you open it up, you get your sentiment. Okay? Now, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to change anything. But if you use the DSP, I would probably try to put it so that when you opened the card up, and this, by DSP, I mean here, this piece, I would have, if I had been paying attention, I would slide this up so that it's still hidden by this when this is open. Okay? Did that make sense? You can see on my sample that when this is opened up, the sentiment on the card front is hidden. So I would try to make that as the same with the DSP circle. Did that make sense? Okay. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So before we do that, let's go ahead and do a little decorating. I've done a little bit of die cutting. The first thing I did is I used the next largest of the stylish shaped circle dies to cut out a piece of wood textured paper. Have y'all seen this? I don't know if you have. I don't know if you've bought any, but can you see what it has here? It is actually literally wood textured, okay? And it's got a matte finish, which means you can color it however you want. So what I did is I took my basic beige and a blending brush, and I colored this basic beige. So basically, you've got wood in whatever color you like. And how cool is that? I really love this paper. So you're like, so why have you never used it before? Because I'm a dork. Now that I've used it, yeah, hide and watch, y'all. I'll be using it all the time. No, I won't. I'll totally forget to use it all the time. Hopefully I'll use it lots. Okay. So I'm just giving that a little color with the basic beige. And I thought that was a nice background to my card. All right. We'll set that aside. And then I did another little bit of die cutting. And I took those autumn leaves dies and I cut 2, those look like oak tree leaves to me, in crushed curry, and 1 that looks like a maple in Moody Mauve. So it's 2 of these and 1 of these. And what's so cool about this die set is that all of the leaves have 2 of the shapes. So you get 2 of those, you get 2 of those, and you get 2 of those, which is very handy. It makes cutting out lots of foliage for quick decorating very easy and fast. And then I also use the die also in the set. I'm telling you, this is the best set ever, to cut a label with from Basic White. And then I'm going to stamp the Autumn Leaves sentiment in Moody Mauve. On here. Here, hold, everybody hold your tongue just right. Okay, I got it. Okay. Whew. Straight. Straight. It's straight, it's straight, it's straight. Okay, so then we're just going to create us a little collage here. And we're going to start by adhering this piece of the wood textured DSP to that Moody Mauve cutout. And basically you can decorate this however you want. So think about all the different ways that you could do this. Use different DSP, different stamps and die sets, all sorts of things that you could do here. But this is what I'm doing. So one thing you do want to remember is, because this die fits exactly in that hole, why? Because it's what it came from. You don't want to extend any of your decorations beyond that, or the card won't close correctly. Okay, so your limb vac here is the edge of your, in this case, Moody Mauve. Okay, so we got to put that right about there. And then we're going to put some leaves. Again, they need to stay inside that edge. And then this will go right about there, like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere those. And then I'm going to make a little tiny linen thread bow. And we'll adhere that as well. Use a little bit of liquid glue there. And put those back on where they were. Move them around a little bit to get it back where I thought I wanted it. So I really kind of want it to go all the way to that edge without... I like to push the limits. Don't... If it wouldn't be a limit if it wasn't good enough. Go all the way to the limit if you want to. Okay. Now, while that dries, I will tie a little linen thread bow with the rest of my little linen thread spool. Not to worry, I have many linen threads. I hoard them like I do liquid glue, dimensionals, and to some extent glue dots. But dimensionals and liquid glue I hoard fanatically, because you never, it's like coffee and toilet paper. You do not want to run out of liquid glue. If you insist on using seal, then seal would be that thing. And you certainly never want to run out of dimensionals. Oh my gosh, can you even imagine the horror? The horror, I tells you. Okay, so that's going to go, you got to know where your sentiment has to be so that you can then place your bow appropriately. So I'm going to go with right about there. And you can use a glue dot there if you prefer. I am not afraid of liquid glue, so I'm going to use it. Excuse me, need a drink. Just one moment, please. Do I buy new ink pads? I buy the re-inkers. So whenever I buy an ink pad, now let me caveat that. Ink pads do not last forever. Okay, I know we all would love them to. They seem like they should be one of those durable crafting equipment. That's DCE, like durable medical equipment, only crafting. So durable crafting equipment, but they're not. I mean, if you think about it, this is fabric of some sort, and you are applying chemicals to it. So at some point, things are going to start to break down. You can see my mossy meadow is starting to get some divots in it. That tells me that the fabric is starting to yield to the chemical. And to be fair, this is a 3 or 4 year old ink pad, okay? So until I start to see degradation in the material of the ink pad itself, I will just re-ink and drive on. When I start to see degradation, I buy a new ink pad. And I make sure I always have a fresh re-inker ready to go. Does that make sense? There you go. There's the answer to the question. Oh, it does look a little bit like leather, doesn't it? Okay, so that is dry enough. I'm going to take some dimensionals here and add my sentiment. And I'm going to do like I frequently tell y'all to do, which is to put the sentiment on the surface that you are adhering to so that you don't have to worry about where it is in relation to that bow, that dastardly bow. And we should be able to do it with just a single layer because that's a little tiny bow. All right, so again, I want it centered up, but I don't want that edge past that edge right there. That is like the most critical piece. Okay. All right, hang on a second. I forgot my one of my embellishments. Okay, I forgot an embellishment. Just a minute. One moment, please. Okay. So before we put that on, I'm going to take some. These are Regal foiled dots. Now, this is Blackberry Bliss, which is not Moody Mauve, but I think it works really nice because of all the colors in the DSP, okay? The DSP has so many colors in it that I feel like you can really get away with this pretty well. So I'm going to put one on the sentiment, and I'm going to put one on this leaf, and then I'm going to put one. Actually, I like it like there better. But you know what? This one's going to get... Oh, I have something in my throat. One moment, please. All right. And I'm going to do another one right there. I'm going to move that. There we go. Okay. So now, to put this onto your card, what is a smart thing to do, you can see we want adhesive on this portion, okay? We don't want it over here. We don't want it on the card front. You could put it on the back of this, but I promise you the easiest way to do this... Ah, Carolina, no worries. No worries. The easiest way to do this is to put liquid glue right in that little half moon area. And I don't even push my luck and get too close to the edge, okay? And then straighten up your card base with it all closed up. And then you're going to adhere that like so with a straight sentiment, Mary. Straight sentiment, Mary. And once you get it on there, you can lift that up out of your way and give that a good press. Okay, so once again, if you make this and you use this DSP instead of stamping like I did, what I did on this is I stamped To Have You as a Friend in Moody Mauve, and then I stamped over it with the a leaf also from Autumn Leaves in Crushed Curry, and then I used the Moody Mauve Stampin' Right marker, the bullet end, to add some doodle dots. Okay, so if you want to do this one, that's how to do that, and if you want to do this one, make sure it's covered by the circle when it opens up. Okay, now you are going to have to, or your recipient is going to have to pull the little ends of your bow through, but you know what? That is a small price to pay for such a cute little card. And, oh, by the way, it stands up. You can also make this with a, not this shape, obviously, but you can actually do a side fold card. So either way will work with this, and that's kind of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate my envelope real quick. Oh, thank you, Rocky. Okay, and because I like it, I am going to stamp that leaf. Ooh, no, you know what I can do? I have a different idea entirely. I am going to, instead of stamping, you can see what I did on my first one. Okay, use the same leaf. This one, I'm going to use those grasses and put them on in Mossy Meadow. Like so. But I'm also going to add some doodle dots. Yeah, I'm going to add some doodle dots. Okay. Hang. Whew, I thought that was a smudge. It wasn't. It was a little piece of... Okay, I'm just going to add some doodle dots in here. I love doodle dots. There we go. Okay, so that's the front of this envelope. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more of the DSP on envelope flap. Like so. Okay, so just so you know, I will mention, I'll probably take a picture of this version and I will mention it in the blog. But if you want to know more about it, you'll want to come back to the video to see. Okay? And then we'll do the world's easiest fussy cut. Once again, I would like props for not doing any fussy cutting on this card, with the exception of this envelope flap. Okay? Okay. So that's it. Okay? Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So there we have a Windows Z Fold card with two different innards, and two different, oh, I love that. I'm sorry. I love the one with the grass. I really love that with the grass. That's just too pretty. It's too pretty. I mean, I love that one too, but that grass is one of my favorite images ever. Alrighty, you guys. I appreciate you spending part of your week with me. I hope the rest of your week is awesome and that you will come back on Saturday for another Zoom. And please go to my blog site and get signed up. I would love to have you. It's going to be our first time doing an interactive class on Zoom, so that ought to be a lot of fun. We'll have a chance to chat back and forth while we're making cards, and you'll be able to ask questions. And I just think it's going to be fun. So head out. There's a link at the top of my blog in the menu, and I'd love to see you on the 28th of September. Thanks, y'all. See ya. Ta.